Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Today, we're going to go through two more GMs that may get interviews with the Lions and are out there candidates for us. We also are going to go into something that Everything King, shout out to King, man. He's awesome.
Oh, man, Everything King.
If you've not subscribed to him, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, he was talking Pistons, but he was alluding to something. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we do all of that, we're going to get to my main man, Curt Steele first.
What up, though? Welcome to the show, people. You know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news. Watch the show. Check out the premiere 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel right here. Join the conversation with the super chats or just get in there and get your comment in so we can answer all of your questions right there during the premiere. And if you haven't done so already, join the family, subscribe to the channel, comment on the videos, like the videos, share the videos. All of this helps us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. Now let's get this thing started. Right now. Hey, welcome back to the show, people. It is time for the main course. We have our two GM candidates for today. Jim, who you have first?
I have Adam Peters, and Adam Peters, this is his 18th season in the NFL. That's a long time, man. That's a long, long time. He was with the Patriots a long time ago, the Broncos. Now he's a current 49ers VP of player personnel for 2017 to the present. But he was with the Broncos. He was a national scout for 2011 to 2013. He was the Broncos assistant director of college scouting in 2014 to 2015 and Broncos director of college scouting in 2016. He's a native of California, where he is at right now. And he attended Mona Vista High School, where he is a two-sport standout in football and baseball during his prep career. Peters is married to his wife, Jennifer, and has a couple. And the couple have one daughter, and her name is Alexandra. But he's responsible for quite a few of the 49ers players that they have right now, some of the defensive players they have right now. Not a bad candidate. Not a bad candidate at all. Who do you got today, Curt?
Hey, I have Andy Weidl. Okay, let's kind of look at his snapshot as a career over the last few stops. 2005 to 2016, he was on the Ravens staff. He worked for Ozzie Newsome from 2005 to 2016. Like I said, he went to the Eagles as their assistant director of player personnel from 2016 to 2017. Then he got promoted just like Peters to the director of player personnel in 2018. And he is currently in the same position for the Eagles as Peters, the VP of player personnel from 2019 to the present. All right, let's kind of look at his career in a snapshot. The Pennsylvania native of Pittsburgh, his wife, Amy, they have a daughter, Peyton, and two sons, Luke and Christian. All right, he is celebrated with the Thomas J. Burke Recipient Award for consistent performance and dedication as an offensive lineman while he played in his college career at Villanova. He had a undergraduate degree in communications back in 96 and a master's degree in human resource development. That's pretty good when you talk about player personnel. Yeah, someone who knows how to do resources and human resources and move players from one place to the next. All right. So he's responsible in Baltimore for some big names that were on some championship level teams. Timmy Jernigan, Haloti Ngata, who was a former Lion, former wide receiver, Torrey Smith, and John Urschel. So looking at him, he had a 4 years career as a regional scout from 2013 to 2016 for the Ravens before they really moved on to the Philadelphia Eagles, where he was part of helping that staff in Baltimore win the Super Bowl back in 2012. He definitely was a part of the Super Bowl victory for the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2017. He just has a really good career, bringing in players and moving up the ranks. You know, you look at that, you know, a scout, just like the former candidate you said with Peters, moving up the ranks from, you know, being on the GM staff, scouting, player personnel, assistant directors. He just has an overall good, solid base for his career. And it's maybe time for him to take that next step and to be a GM in the league. Yeah,
I don't know. What do you think about him though, as it pertains to the Lions?
I think he could be a decent candidate. I will say this: I know he doesn't meet your criteria of someone who actually has been a GM candidate, a GM before. So, but I think he has plenty of experience in the ranks. He's been in the league a long time. You look at that back in, you know, 2005 is when he joined the GM staff, you know, scouting back then. So you look at that's like 15 years of experience in the personnel departments for 2 championship teams. I mean, and at 2 different stops. So it's not just where he was he won, part of 2 Super Bowls at one spot. He was part of Super Bowl at the Ravens and at the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think he might be ready for the next step.
Yeah, I know. I don't know about Peters. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys don't have that experience like you said that I'm looking at. -5 points, by the way. Just kidding. But he, you know, I don't really want to have training wheels on someone that I'm bringing in right now. But also you could catch lightning in a bottle and it could be the next big thing. You know, you just never know. And I think it's a crapshoot a lot of times. And I don't think we're there, to be quite honest.
I feel you.
I think that in my opinion, personally, I want somebody with some GM experience. We went through a lot of people that didn't have that GM experience, and it's never really turned out well for us. And as I keep saying, we don't have the best luck in the world. So
yeah, it's kind of tough. I understand exactly what you're saying. You want someone who's been there, done it, and has some success doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, you know, like I said, both candidates, if they hired him, I guess I wouldn't be totally upset with it or anything like that. But my man is still Rick Smith.
Rick Smith's the leader in the clubhouse.
He's the leader right now. He really is. Okay, we're going to go on to something. And I was watching Everything King. Like I said, if you've not subscribed to the man, what are you doing?
You tripping.
He's amazing. But I'll tell you this.
Listen to him.
He'll tell you the way it is.
Yeah.
So he posed this question. I kind of just commented on this, and it really hit me. It says, "Do Detroit sports teams pay too much for the wrong players?" And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? That's exactly what we do. So JMO 313 JMO would say, "Pay Kenny Galladay before I lose my mind," you know, and all this stuff. But you know what's funny? We don't care about paying Danny Amendola. We don't care about paying Trey Flowers, and we don't care about paying, you know, a lot of money for some players that are probably not worth that money. And I think all 4 franchises do it, or 3 out of the 4. Big V, same thing. But when Kenny Galladay wants money, everybody's going, "Oh, that's too much. Let's let him walk. You know, forget this." Isn't that true though? I mean, Christian Wood is the big one in the NBA. Then you're going to go pay Mason Plumlee. Mason Plumlee sucks, by the way. I'm just letting everybody know. Yeah. This is not a basketball show, but it's just telling you that we're paying the wrong guys, man. Absolutely, we are.
It has been a fiscal misresponsibility, or if that's really a word, misuse of fiscal funds to pay the wrong players. You look at the Lions. Let's just look at the Lions in themselves, playing over the hill players, or second string players, or players who are coming off injury. I mean, not just
drafting players that are coming off.
Yeah, injury. I'm saying not just free agents, but we're drafting players that are coming off injury. I mean, like serious injury. You know, like these guys are coming out of college where they're not to say they didn't have a good college career, but they've had really injury at the end of their college career that really stopped them from playing at the end of the season, or the season was ended by injury. But you want to bring him into Detroit and give him a nice contract when he first comes into the league. Now, one player that Yeah, and one player in particular, we have really two on our defense right now: Austin Bryant,
Yep,
and Julian Okwara. Now what they have
and Deshaun Hand.
They have big upsides when they're coming out of college, especially Okwara. I mean, guy has a huge upside, but is his upside worth the gamble on a player who has been often injured?
Kerryon Johnson, same exact thing with him. I mean, we have to go through example, but the other thing we're fiscally not responsible, in doing is what we said yesterday, signing backup players to, starter money.
Yeah.
And so, I think that, like I said, we just don't have enough stars on the team. I know that like the Pistons had, teams that didn't have stars per se. You know what I'm saying?
They had workmen type players.
They had a great team.
I mean, they had a good team, and that's the thing that's been lacking as far as on the Lions. They don't have a complete whole team. We haven't had one since really Jim Caldwell's first season.
We
was there. I mean that defense that we had back then, that was a really good, solid defense. They played hard, they played well together, and that whole team really played. I mean, you didn't have a lot of stars on the offense. I mean, but look at some of the guys we had that had that workman type attitude. That's back when Ziggy was a young player. You had Sue there, and one guy that stood out to me on that defense was Bobby Carpenter. He played with his hair on fire. That guy, he was the most talented linebacker, but he played hard, and he played fast and loose, and he played to his attributes. And those are some of the type of guys that we need on the Lions right now.
Well, I know Bob Quinn liked to go searching nursing homes and finding players and bringing them to Detroit. LeGarrette Blount and Anderson, CJ Anderson, and I'm not going to say Adrian Peterson, but he is old. He liked to bring in old timers and pay them to be here for what purpose? I don't know.
Shout out to old timer Dave.
Oh, that hurt my heart. Shout out to old timer Dave.
Old timer Dave, friend of the show.
We're gonna go to comment cards now. I want to explain something. I want to make sure that people understand what we're doing here. So the whole premise of the show is it's lunchtime with Detroit Lions talk, and we get comment cards on how the meal was and all that type of thing. Well, we call this segment comment cards. And where do we get those comments from? It's from the YouTube video itself. So we're not getting them from the premieres or Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. We're getting them from the comments on the actual YouTube video themselves. So people were asking, so I just wanted to clear that up so people knew. Yeah. Michael Brands, he says Detroit Lions gave Dallas a 5th and 6th round pick for Everson Griffin. We got to get those picks back somehow now. That is not the truth. Let me explain this.
It's a 6th round pick.
Well, no, it's a conditional pick. And so if he plays enough for us, which I don't think he did, if he plays enough for us and there's certain criteria that's met, it turns into a 5th round pick. If not, it stays a 6th round pick. It's not 2 picks. It's only one pick.
Yeah, it's only
conditional.
1 pick. Yeah.
So I just had to clear that up.
And it's going to be a 6th rounder. He hasn't had enough snaps, to be honest. I mean, missing games, being out with COVID.
Yep.
He just hasn't played enough. It's going to be a 6th round pick. All right, let's say two Plinkster Santa. Wow, that is a name for you. I like that name. What up, two Plinkster? All right, so those guys aren't all backups. Collins was a starter. Okwara was a backup, but has played his way to be a starter. Top 5 PFF pass rusher. Shelton has started a lot. We did say that. We said that Shelton started. Yeah. We said he started in Denver, but was a backup in New England, and he played a rotational role. He says Flower was a starter. We did say that as well. I mean, we're agreeing with you. You're not saying anything we didn't say. They just don't have near enough speed on that defense and high-level playmakers. That is a very true statement. And that's one thing I've been preaching. We need speed on this team, and we just have some slow players. It's the turtle in the hair. You can't beat a Porsche in a Yugo. So that's not going to happen.
No. John Kapler asks question: do we re-sign Griffin for another year? No. Very simple. And here's the reasoning. It's not because he's a bad player or whatever. And actually, I think it kind of depends on the money. If he's willing to take, a ridiculously low contract and spend the year in the rebuild, I guess that would be okay as a rotational pass rusher. But no. We got Julian Okwara here. We have Trey Flowers when he gets back. We have, we have Romeo Okwara as well. I don't see where that helps us any being older, but it doesn't really matter because I don't think we're going to be good next year. And I think it's going to be a 3-year thing, maybe 2 years, depending, what they do with Stafford. If they get rid of Stafford, it's a 3-4 year rebuild. If not, it may be a 10-year rebuild if they get rid of Stafford, but
Yeah. For real. All right. Next up, Brendan Bauer says Sue wasn't going to stay in Detroit and would be long gone due to money, and Donald would be long gone due to money by now. Okay. I mean,
we were paying your opinion. Yeah. We were paying Stafford. We were paying Calvin at the time. So I get your point. We got these guys just before the rookie deals started happening. Of course, you're going to screw Detroit every chance you get. But that's what happened, and we had to get rid of somebody, and that somebody was Sue. That's not really the person I really would have,
Well, Sue signed that big contract. They had a contract on the table, in Detroit. Yeah, he took less money to actually go to Miami. So here's my thing. I think he liked playing with Aaron Donald out there in LA. So I think that would have been even if he'd have took a shorter deal in Detroit, to play with Aaron Donald with that type of talent, you have guys that would, that would have given him an incentive to stay to play next to Aaron Donald. I think that he would have stayed just because of the fact that looking at that talent coming out of college, Aaron Donald was always been a beast. So I think Sue, even if he would have stayed for a shorter period of time just to play with Donald, I think that would have been something that would have been enticing to him.
I agree with that. 100%. King SJ says, I agree the forwards have to be very clear on Spielman's role when recruiting new GMs. But the fact that Spielman has also admitted up front that he's not qualified to be a GM is a good sign. And he knows his role within the organization and will not get in the new GM's way. I had the same thought about Rod Wood when we hired him. He admitted up front that he was not a football guy and was there for the business side of the franchise. That tells me he knows his role and has not since gotten in the way of the football side of things that I know of. It was an interesting point yesterday about Spielman and how that would affect potential GM candidates. But I think if the structuring's right, it may be a non-issue.
Yeah, I think so. I think that as long as they, when they have the meetings and they, let them know, hey, this is what Spielman's role is. And it may be something that it's a closed door conversation where you're just not hearing it from outside of the organization. I think that's good. But I think they may be just inside of the room, letting those people know, hey, this guy is not here to get in your way or affect your job any way or shape or form. All right. Last one, we have Thomas Donner. I believe that's how you say your name. Okay. Open the bank. Pay Tony Dungy done. Pay Tony Dungy to do what?
Be the GM.
They be the GM?
Yeah. I think this is, and there was another comment. He said, well, pay him $8 million or something and see if he's serious about retirement. He is very serious about retirement.
He likes his role over at NBC and being a commentator over on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
I think that him being, believe he's a Michigander by nature. I think he's from Michigan.
Sure.
I believe so. But it's one of those things where it's gonna take some things, all the personal things that has happened to him and his family. I just think that he's enjoying being part of the game in a announcer and an analyst type role. I just don't think he's going to come back to the game in that type of manner.
Would he be a good GM? Yeah, I believe so. And if he wanted the job, I would be happy about that. Mm-hmm. He's been out of the game quite a while. I don't know if his ideals are like today's, but he's been, I'm always leery of people that have been out of the game for a long time. Dick Vermeil did it. But other than that, it's been tricky. But
Mhm.
and then goes into the booth or like on a news show or something like that, or commentates on games and things, and they're not really involved in the process of getting free agents or doing the draft or anything like that. I'm leery of that. I really am.
And
But
I think
they
that's
haven't been there for a while.
And I think that's why Spielman has said what he said, that he's not qualified to be a GM just because of the fact that he has been away from the game in that capacity. He's never really been part of that. So he doesn't even want to take on that responsibility to try to be a GM.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. We're going to go now to the Detroit Lions news and rumors. So first up for grabs, if Matthew Stafford is healthy enough, he's probably going to play. This is for Pride of Detroit. Good friend Jeremy Reisman. And the thing is, you know what? I believe that. I totally believe. I said that before this week. I think he's going to play. He says if the ankle tests out great, I'll play. Yeah, hey, Matthew Stafford's a beast.
I agree with that 100%, just because of the fact that he is who he is. All right, next up, Detroit Lions proceed with caution. Now, this is coming from Fansided, Bob Heyman's article. He said, proceed with caution when it comes to Urban Meyer, skipping out on Florida and Ohio State. Now, we did touch on this yesterday.
Yep.
This
was my take yesterday.
Yeah, he has, I just don't think his stress levels, when they get a certain way that, if it gets too high, that his body kind of shuts down. Now, I did hear an interesting take yesterday on NFL radio on XM that they were saying that if he goes somewhere, he's going to probably want to be the head coach and general manager.
Yes, that's what I said yesterday. I think it's too much for him.
Yeah. So I just think that I'm never really bought into the premise of Urban Meyer coming back, going to the NFL, but I mean,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Detroit Lions expect firings. The coach, Corey Unlin, knows his fate. He said 5 wins isn't what Sheila Ford Hamp is looking for. It's nice to be self-aware, and yes, you will be fired at the end of the year. I'm sorry. What else can you say?
I mean, yeah, that's very true. It's one of those things where you look at him and you say, has he done enough? No. But I will say this, has he been given the tools to do a lot of stuff? No. I mean, like, he came in, took over, a lot of players hurt. And then that crap with this past weekend. Now, I won't say that even if he was there, the Lions would have won, but that would have gave him another chance to kind of audition. But it was one of those things where you kind of just took another game out of his hands, where he's not being out front, putting his some stuff on tape, if not for the Lions, for another team.
Do you think Corey Unlin gets a job as DC somewhere else?
Nah, he's going back to be a defensive back coach.
I think so too. That's bad to say about a man's career, but
yeah, I mean, and it's not nothing. It's not. To me, it's not being derogatory towards Corey Unlin, but I just think he may be better suited to be a position coach. Some people spend their whole career just being a position coach, and that's maybe what he needs to be. He may go back to Philly, because Jim Schwartz will bring him back, because he did an excellent job. Think about the Phillies secondary this year compared to last year.
Yeah, but he's gone.
Their secondary, and he had a worse as far as personnel last year than they have this year, and their secondary is a lot worse this year than they were last year.
Right.
All right. So last one, let's check it out. The Lions could see big drop in draft order with win over the Vikings. And this is coming from the Detroit News. They could fall from as far as 13th in the draft order with a win versus the Vikings on Sunday. Coming into Ford Field with the Vikings, do you think that the Lions will actually try to win that game? Both teams are out of playoff contention. It's still a division game.
Dumpster fire too.
It's a dumpster fire game.
It's kind of who does Minnesota play? Who does Detroit play? Does Matthew Stafford play? Because if he doesn't, we're done. We're toast. Forget it.
Yeah. If the Vikings start playing their backups because they're out of the contention, you know what I'm saying? They're not really looking at anything. That's going to be an issue because, because if they play backups and we play starters, it could be that's still playing backups.
They're garbage too, though. So I don't know.
It's still playing backup against backups because most people that's starting for the Lions are backups.
I said this too. I said, you know what? It's so Lions to win this game. Yeah, it is so Lions to win this game.
It's excuse me, but I'll just say
I want to win. I don't care. I want to win.
It's a division. Really it's a division rival. I will never concede a win to a division rival. So I say win the game.
Not the Vikings.
Whatever happens on that one. Yeah, I've never been a proponent of tanking, and I definitely don't want to tank against a division rival. No. Don't want to do it.
No. I agree. Let's win. I don't care. We got something fun tomorrow, so I want you to comment on this. Our question of the day is going to be a little different today. And so we're going to explain what we're doing so that you guys can comment in the comment section under the video. So right down below. Okay. So what are your New Year's resolutions for the Detroit Lions? And they can be funny, we don't really curse, so please try to keep it clean, kids watch the show, so let's please keep it clean. But we'll read some of those on the air tomorrow for our comment card section, probably more than we usually do. Yeah. We're just gonna have a good time. Me and Curt are going to give ours tomorrow, and you guys could give yours. It's going to be a lot of fun. So what New Year's resolutions do you have for the Detroit Lions in 2021?
Special New Year's edition of the Detroit Lions lunchtime Detroit Lions talk tomorrow. Yep. It's all going to be about New Year's and the New Year's resolutions for this team going forward. I look forward to reading your comments.
We're going to have a lot of fun.
Great, interesting takes usually. So I can't wait to read these comments tomorrow. So please answer this.
Yes, give us some good ones
tomorrow. Today, let's answer that question. Give us some good ones. What are your
New
Year's
have a
resolutions
good time
for
tomorrow
the Lions?
About this.
This is going to be fun. I can't wait.
I'm so looking forward to that. Okay, it is time. It is time for my favorite part of the show. It is the Dessert with Curt.
Okay, coming into today, we have something from the Detroit Lions the public relations department. Now, I have to give a caveat because my man Jamie Reisman says this. Now, looking at Lions defensive end Romeo Okwara. Now, let's look at where he ranks in the league on certain things that he does in the league, right? So in the games. Now, Jamie Reisman says, now it's only for defensive ends. He said with a caveat that it does not include outside linebackers who essentially play the same position. But let's look at where Big Romeo is doing his work. Third down, strip sacks first. Third down, forced fumbles, tied for first. Games with a tackle for loss, tied for first in the league as a defensive end. Games with a sack, tied for second. Strip sacks, tied for second. Third down sacks, tied for second. Sacks, yards, fourth overall in the league. He's fourth, tied for fourth in the league at defensive end for sacks and for forced fumbles throughout the league for defensive ends. He's tied for fifth. That is a lot of work he is doing. Ooh. Now, Jeremy Reisman does say that it is not the same because of the fact it may not stack up with some of the outside linebackers, but as a pure defensive end, he is putting in some work and some stats. I think really he was a Pro Bowl snub this year.
I agree with that 100%. And it might be because he's on the Lions, who knows? But they say they gave us 3, they couldn't give us 4. No, they couldn't give us 4. That's too many. Too many. To be honest, it is too many for a team that's this bad.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but
he's definitely putting in that work.
He's deserving.
And he's probably going to play his way into a contract for next season because I don't know if he was under contract for next year, but if he wasn't, he probably is going to be just because of the fact that his performance he put up this year.
And his brother's here. And that's a big thing. So he's going to want to stay here. I think he will. He's going to
want to stay in Detroit.
And I think Detroit's going to want him here.
Yeah.
So that'll be awesome. Hey guys, speaking of awesome, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome for rocking with us at 11 o'clock every morning. We have that conversation back and forth. That's a lot of fun for us. We really appreciate that. We appreciate each and every one of you guys that help us out with the comments and all that stuff. And please show up and show out tomorrow or today with the New Year's resolutions for the Detroit Lions in 2021.
Yes. Hey, all right. You know what it is. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news. Join the family, subscribe to the channel, participate in the premieres, the chats, the super chats are always available. You can get a little bit of extra, little extra cheese, and you can get your comments right up front where you want them to be during the live chats on the premiere. Comment on the videos, like the videos, share the videos, comment, answer the question of the day. And we really look forward to hearing those New Year resolutions tomorrow. So do all that, and it helps us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. Hey, happy New Year. We're going to say it again tomorrow, but happy New Year. We wish you all a wonderful and prosperous new year. And with that, to get that new year to be prosperous, you know what you got to do. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. From my man, Jim, right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon.